Hello and welcome everyone to Shinan Squarebridge Bridge to Korea Demo Day, where you'll have the opportunity to meet some of the most amazing global startup teams that have participated in our 3-month inbound program. 6 teams have worked really, really hard on preparing their businesses to enter the Korean market. A global program, and we love that we have so many people from all over the world joining us in. I would like to welcome not only the startups that will be pitching and the judge committee, whom I'll all introduce in a second. I want to also welcome mentors, contributors, Shinhan Financial Group officials who have supported the program and the teams for the last 3 months, as well as Korean and global startup ecosystem players who've chosen to spend the afternoon with us. So moving on, today's event, we have 3 parts planned for you. The first part will briefly introduce the program and the startups that have participated in the program. In the second part, that's the main part that I'm pretty sure everybody's super excited about. We'll talk about I won't be talking much. We will be watching showcase pitches from the startups, as well as listening to the live Q&A sessions. Moving on. As we start the event, I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Sang-Young Park from Shinhan Financial Group's Social Contribution Department to officially welcome you all. So, Mr. Sang-Young Park, the stage is all yours.
안녕하십니까. 신한금융그룹 박상용 부장입니다. 먼저 3개월간 저희 신한 스퀘어브릿지 인천 글로벌 인바운드 프로그램에 참여해 주신 6개사 대표님과 또 뜻깊은 자리에 함께해 주신 관계자분들께 진심으로 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 신한금융그룹은 스타트업 육성 플랫폼인 신한 스퀘어브릿지를 통해 스타트업의 유니콘 육성과 글로벌 진출을 지원하고 있습니다. 특히 이번에 처음으로 해외 스타트업을 대상으로 진행한 제1회 브릿지 코리아 프로그램에는 그리스, 러시아, 싱가포르, 저머니 4개 국가에서 6개의 우수한 스타트업이 참여하여 한국 시장 상황 및 산업 트렌드 분석, 투자 피치텍 고도화, 기업별 맞춤형 세션 등을 진행했었습니다. 지난 3개월간 스케일업한 결과를 공개하는 오늘 자리를 저 역시 많이 기대하고 있고요. 각자 멋진 기량을 발휘해 주실 것이라 믿습니다. 그리고 이번 프로그램이 아시아 지역에 진출하는 첫 발걸음이 되길 바라며 앞으로도 우리 스타트업들이 글로벌 유니콘이 될 때까지 저희 신한금융그룹이 든든한 파트너로 함께하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for such an encouraging speech. I hope it inspires a lot of you to really try our best and create a wonderful startup ecosystem here in Korea and globally. But what would be at the event without our formidable judge committee? I would like to welcome our esteemed panel of judges who will be evaluating the startup pitches later on. I'd like to ask the judges to also briefly say a few words of greetings as I call your name out. So let's.
Hello.
We would like to, first of all, I'd like to welcome Myungjin Kang from Shinhan Capital Group. Hello, Myung.
Hi. Hello. I'm Jin. I work at Shinhan Capital Venture Investment Team. And my personal main interest is the healthcare and medtech companies, as I've been awarded PhD degree with aging research. But of course, my team's investments interest is not limited to the healthcare. So Shinhan Capital is one of the main capital firm in Korea, which focuses on corporate financing as well as investment financing. And as name suggests, it's a subsidiary of the Shinhan Financial Group. Investment finance sector specifically, we have AUM, asset under management, of roughly $2.5 billion US. And my team is a venture capital team, which was formed in 2019. And as the name suggests, with main intention to fund startups and early stage or growth stage firms of variety of investment fields. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Next on is, we have a double appearance, but we have Min-Seok Chang from Celltrion. Hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Min-Seok Chang, working for Celltrion Digital Healthcare team. Our team members are planning to develop a business related to the chronic disease management and the digital therapeutics. And also, we are looking for the partners. I'm very grateful to have opportunity to meet the various startup in digital healthcare industry. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Next on is Michael Huang from Big Bang Angels. Hello.
Hi, nice to see you. It's Michael Huang, the CEO of the Big Bang Angels, which is the early stage VC and accelerator. We have more than 100 portfolio companies. Recently, we are more focusing on the deep tech startups, as well as we started to invest in the foreign startup who wanted to come to the Korean market. I'm very happy to join this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next on, we have Young-Sik Chang from Gentium Partners. Hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Charles Chang. In my earlier career, I was a banker in New York and Korea. My background is in corporate finance and M&A. Since leaving banking, I've had a strategy consultancy involved in many times bespoke and non-standard transactions, engagements with foreign and domestic clients. I've also served on several boards of companies. 3 years ago, we started Gentium Partners. It's an accelerator VC. Our portfolio strategy is 65% pre-Series A, 35% on the other end of the spectrum, pre-IPO. Normally, we like to identify and work with entrepreneurs at the very earliest stages of their startups. While as a firm, we are sector agnostic, my broad interest is in disruptive innovations, which have a positive social impact or otherwise a positive contribution to improving the welfare environment of all living things. So to give you an example, we're invested in a company in Seattle called AltPep, which was founded by Dr. Valerie Daggett for the purpose of early detection and treatment of Alzheimer's and other amyloid diseases. Closer to home, we invested in Farm8 as one of the earliest companies to introduce indoor vertical farming in Korea. Not only does that bring farm to table much closer, the products are also fresher and better tasting. This investment also meets our ESG criteria, which with its smaller operational footprint, leading to lower carbon emissions, less water consumption, as well as new job opportunities in smart farming and technology. It's a great pleasure to meet everybody today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. Next on is Sun from Mind the Bridge.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me as a judge. So I'm from Mind the Bridge. And I work there as a general manager of Asia. So Mind the Bridge is a global accelerator and an open innovation advisory firm based in Silicon Valley, established by ex-Googler Marco in 2007. We started from supporting European startups to connect them with the Silicon Valley ecosystem. And now we expanded the activity to all around the world. And also we are helping large corporations around the world from multiple industries in their open innovation efforts. It advises them to structure and execute an open innovation strategy. So Mind the Bridge is having 25,000 plus innovation networks around the world and engaging with 5,000 startups or scale-ups per year and serving 1,000 plus large corporations per year. And so as a general manager of Asia, I'm based in Korea, helping Asian startups to connect with the US and the European countries. And thanks again for the invitation.
Thank you, Sun. And next on, last but not least, is Chongjin Lee from Bokwang Investment.
Thank you for introducing me. Hello, my name is Jung Jin Lee from Bogan Investment Corporation. It is one of the first generation Korean VC, which was founded in 1989. It's been about like $200 million asset under management at this moment, and it has been invested in various industrial sectors, including semiconductor business, IT services, and biotech companies. I've been focused on early stage tech companies like in Series C series or Series A in my days here in Bohang Investment Corp. And it includes a collaboration tool service company and a rehabilitation tech companies resides in the United States and multiple other companies in Korea. It's great to see you all here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's back to me. So let us hear a little bit about Bridge to Korea program, because I'm pretty sure some of you might have heard the name, but are not too sure what it is exactly. It's a program that has been run by the enthusiastic team here at Shinhan Squarebridge Incheon. And we will hear all about it from Julia Lee, the managing director, who will introduce us to this very ambitious project. So Julia, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Marta. Hi, everyone. I'm Julia. I'm so glad to meet you again, and I would like to congratulate you on your successful completion of the Bridge to K program. And thank you to all the participants, including judges, to join this event despite of a busy schedule. As you know, Shinhan SquareBridge Incheon is powered by Shinhan Financial Group, a leading Korean finance company. And then the Shinhan Financial Group has partnered with Incheon City, the Ministry of SMEs and Startups and Seltune to build an innovation hub in Songdo supporting startups. As a center of startup business and innovation, we would like to be a bridge that Korean startups to enter global market and global startups to come to Korean market. That's why we started the Bridge to Korea program last year. We focused on the differentiated values. One is, to provide a vast range of network in the startup ecosystem in Korea. We have more than 100 alumni startups and then about 200 partners here. So we want to connect them to Bridge to Korea member startups. And number two is to provide a go-to-market strategy and product market fit to help member startups to learn more about the Korean market. And number three is the most important thing for startups is to provide IR opportunities. We have extensive investor network here, like Michael and Charles is the dedicated fund accelerator. So we want to give IL opportunities as many as possible. In the first batch of Bridge to Korea program, we have 6 global startups from 4 different countries: Singapore, Greece, and Germany, and Russia. During 12 weeks, 30 business experts joined the program to help startups. And we have 51 one-on-one sessions and 16 business consultings. It was a relatively short time period, but our B2K members achieved amazing result. 4 startups got funded from domestic and overseas investment, and also 4 startups have discovered the possibility of a Korean market through POC and PMF projects. And in terms of a partnership, we have 18 cases, and our Bridge to Korea member startups strengthen the market position by having contracts and sales. So we have 10 cases of sales contract during the program. It's amazing. And once again, I would like to thank all the B2K member startups who made a lot of efforts, and then the promise additional support for the next 6 months at 신한 스퀘어브릿지 Incheon. We will support in incorporation process in Korea and provide office space and address upon your request. We continuously provide a networking connection with the investors and corporations and our alumni startups. And also we expand our service area like PR activities, visas, and etc. I hope you Bridge to Korea member startups will grow to be successful in Korean market. And I would like you to be a guide to Korean startups for their going global. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, for explaining to us all about the program. It was a really exciting thing to be part of. And now we're going to learn a little bit what happened during the program. So we'll be introducing the teams, and we'll be also talking about their accomplishments, something that Julia mentioned a while ago. And that will be done by the startups program facilitators. Each startup had a person that was kind of responsible of guiding them through the program. And we will also hear a little bit from the startups, not their pitches. We'll hear that in the second part of the event, but we'll hear a few words of reflections they have about the program. So first and foremost, I will be presenting Scanderm. Scanderm from Russia is an AI image recognition and analysis service for various skin conditions. They've already been making a big splash on the Russian market, working from diverse selection of partners, starting from big name pharmaceutical companies all the way to big name distributors, cosmetics companies. Their success, they do want to replicate now in Korea, and they're working very hard on that. The goal for this program was to help them build up a scale-up strategy and finalize various partnerships that they've been working on. We supported them with various legal consultations, mentoring, and also localization of their demo videos that they will be presenting to their future partners. What they achieved, they managed to deepen the local partnerships. They're in the process of finalizing some investment agreements, which maybe they'll mention later on. And we're preparing an exciting video for them to present to potential collaborators. So, Evgeny, do you have a few words to say about your time in B2K program?
Yeah, thank you, Marta, for introduction. Actually, we are so excited. It's pretty international program with a lot of things from Korea. I get to know a lot of secret hidden features about culture. And so we really lucky to meet you in person. And we will come back to South Korea in the middle of February. So we want to continue to talk with you and to cooperate. And thank you for such a various mentoring sessions. That was so helpful.
Yes, the team currently is in Thailand, but they'll be coming back to Korea very soon. Thank you so much, Evgeny, and see you soon. Next on is Maria. Actually, before I ask Maria to say a few words, let me tell a little bit about Maria's amazing venture called SQIN. It's an AI-based solution that helps us have a better skin. It offers various forms of consultation, product recommendations, and ways to work on your skin. It's like a coaching for better skincare. The goals for this program were, again, to create a sustainable strategy for entering the market and get some go-to-market coaching. We ran a market research. We helped them run a professional market research, and as well as hopefully soon some user testing that resulted in app and website localization and some very good mentoring sessions. The key achievements of SQIN throughout the program included a market survey of over 200 respondents, a translation of their app into the Korean language. Hopefully it'll be launching very soon, and it'll be followed by a Korean version of their website as well. And we are in the process of working out what will be the next steps in deepening their connection to the Korean market. So Maria, a few words about reflection about the B2K program.
Yeah, Marta, thank you so much. I think that's the most important thing to share, especially thank you to you, because you took so much effort into the program. And I mean, SQIN have been in really different accelerator programs around the world now. And you have really been always on our side. You helped us with the thoughts we had. So that's really amazing in that program. And of course, we made so much important steps. I mean, we are B2B2C. So for us, it's always important to grow on the one hand side, the B2B side, but also to like get to know the user much better. And we achieved both during the program. So I'm really happy for the whole team that we had the chance to explore the market and the partners really that close. And I'm super happy. Just the only thing, we hadn't the chance to go to Korea because of COVID, but I think as soon as it is possible, we will definitely do that also. So thank you.
Thank you, Maria, for your sweet words. And I mean, I'm only as good as the startups that I'm helping. So that's that. And hopefully this year we'll finally bring the chance for you to come here in person, which I'm really looking forward to. And so is the rest of the SquareBridge family. Next startups will be presented by Kim from Shinhan SquareBridge. And the first startup to go is Aevice Health.
Hi, this is Yanhee Kim. I'm a program manager of Aevice Health company. Aevice is Singapore-based medtech company developing wearable monitors to facilitate remote diagnosis and management of 545 million patients with chronic respiratory disease globally. Aevice participated in the B2K program to explore South Korea as a means to do R&D with leading hospitals and plan to eventually commercialize through hospitals and pharmaceutical companies. Through B2K program, Aevice did business model, go-to-market storage, regulatory, IR consulting, and linkage with investors, with 11 experimenters across the past 3 months. Aevice also did PMF consulting with doctors from Gill Hospital and Seoul National University Hospital. So through that, I believe Aevice have made big progress overall business and greater understanding of their product market fit and expand their network in Korea. So Janelle, please tell us about your impression of participating in the B2K program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kim. The past few months have been very fruitful and an incredible learning experience for me and for the company. So the program has introduced us to a very wide network of industry experts from the medtech industry, but not just that, the pharma industry, as well as key opinion leaders from top hospitals in Korea as well. And we also had the opportunity to engage with leading VC firms. So with the guidance of these experts, we managed to have a very comprehensive understanding of South Korea as a potential market for us, as well as further insights on how we could improve and better position ourselves in this market and globally as well. What we've learned along the way is that due to regulatory and legal barriers in the market, we will be focusing on US and Japan across these 2 years, but we look forward to entering the South Korean market post 2023, definitely guided by our learnings from this program. So across the time, we're very thankful for the wonderful support we have received thus far, especially from you, Kim, and for the rest of the B2K members. And we hope to work with many of the friends and partners we've made here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janelle, for your grateful opinion. Thank you. See ya. Also, this is the NDR company that I'm also in charge of. NDR is a Singapore-based company, the medical's world's first automated needle targeting system that combines robot vision and AI to empower real-time closed loop navigation for intraoperative needle access into soft anatomy. NDR participated in B2K program to raise Series B round and expand their network. Their B2K goal was to understand feasibility of Korean market and entry strategy, investment attraction, and linkage to investors. Our B2K program supported with IR consulting, approval, and reimbursement mentoring. We also connected investors such as LG Ventures, Samsung Security, and others. NDR has achieved much, but particularly they built up key partners such as CG Bio, Aji University Medical Center, and Seoul National University Hospital. Also, they received the investment from SQIN's dedicated fund. But unfortunately, the CEO of NDR, Alan Ko, is currently at another pitching event in Singapore, but he will be participating in Part 2 showcase, so we can hear more about him after. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kim. That's some great startups here and with some amazing achievements. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they will be pitching in a few moments. Next on is Stephen, and as well as Stephen's teams.
Thank you, Marta, for calling out. Hi, my name is Stephen. I'm also one of the B2K program manager. So throughout the past 3 months, I have been supporting prestigious startups, especially in the deep tech area. One of them is Fairphonic. Fairphonic is a Singaporean startup that offers the world's first AI-based copyright recognition technology and / audio fingerprint. I'll save my words for this top-notch tech, which you will later hear from the Tang's pitch. Basically, when Fairphonic joined the B2K program, the company was already making some traction, and we were actually scratching our heads about what B2K team could do for them. Then after several assessments and diagnosis, we set our KPI to help Fairphonic to refine their market expansion plan and IR deck by linking with industry stakeholders, associates, and investors. The mentoring and coaching sessions comprise of IP strategy, identification of threats, as well as a little bit of market intel for winning business. As a result, Fairphonic was able to complete a total of 9 partnerships, service agreements in both Korean market and APEC region, on top of 1 POC with global entertainment entity. What has been noteworthy is that the company finally received SquareBridge dedicated funds. It has been my privilege to support Fairphonic, and this will continue throughout the post program. Now I'd like to invite Tang Heng-yang, CEO of Fairphonic, to share a few words about his journey with B2K so far. Tang?
Thank you for the kind words, Stephen. And first and foremost, definitely the biggest thanks to the SquareBridge team for working tirelessly over the past 3 months, especially Stephen, Kim, and Marta. So being in Korea for the past 1.5 years, I think it's definitely not the easiest thing to expand our technology into a hyper-localized market here in Korea. But nevertheless, the team in SquareBridge has definitely made a very seamless transition for us, from establishing the business infrastructure to eventually focus on right now, which is on our company growth and customer acquisition across the board. And I think throughout the past 3 months, we definitely have learned a lot from the experiences here, not only speaking with actual business personnels, investors, and also most importantly, having the right feedbacks and consistent support from the right personnel, which really help us stabilize our operations here in Korea. So the biggest thanks, I would definitely recommend this program to any of our friends who's looking not only for early stage support, but somebody that has established a business here in Korea and looking to expand even further in this very deep market. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your words, Tang. Really appreciate it. Next slide. Okay. Last but not least, this is VERLINER. VERLINER is a robotics and context startup founded in Greece. The company offers automated robot systems, especially UAVs, for building indoor environment evaluation. And you will hear more details about their technology from the CEO's pitch today. VERLINER is one of the companies that made to the top 30 of the K Startup Grand Challenge. When they joined the B2K program, the company was in search of potential clients and partners to approve their concept in Korean market based on some of the achievements made back in home country and Europe region. So it didn't take too much long for us to realize the VERLINER much needed strategy partnership to launch their business in Korea, and also hear from actual customers who would utilize their first-in-class technology. Therefore, KPI was set for VERLINER to have them leverage our network of industry experts as well as great companies to partner with. The B2K team then focused on speculating PMF with available market identification, looked at actual use cases, and discussed incorporation strategy while linking them with one of the major construction company for POC opportunity that will allow VERLINER to cement its presence in Korean market. So as a result, VERLINER was able to sign 5 MOUs, 5 service agreements with elevator manufacturers, agencies, and regulatory entities in both Korean and European market. Also, 11 POCs. Demo opportunities are in a way within the first quarter this year. Needless to mention about the company being heralded for winning an award in Greece and Europe after strenuous competition. Again, this has been my privilege to support VERLINER, and more support will continue throughout the post-program. I'd like to invite Michael Strigas, CEO of VERLINER, to share a few words about his journey with B2K so far. Michael?
Hello to everyone. Hello, Stephen. Thank you for having me here, and thanks the Bridge to Korea program that is giving us the opportunity to, as an early stage startup, to explore the opportunities in the Korean market. So during this journey, on these 3 months, we had the opportunity to explore and redefine the go-to-market strategy. And through insightful and very fruitful mentorship sessions, we had the ability also to streamline our approach to the Korean market and define better the market strategy. At the same time, the program has supported us and was very, very helpful on finding the necessary partnerships with key entities of the Korean market in order to establish this relationship that will lead us to successful demonstration and references, which are very, very useful for the following steps of our establishment in the market. So thank you once more, Stephen, Marta, and Kim.
Thank you, Michael. Now over to you, Marta.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Stephen, and as well as Kim for presenting such wonderful, amazing startups. I hope all the participants are now pumped up. The audience is pumped up to hear the actual pitches. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally in our second main part of our event today, and that is the Startup Showcase. So finally, we'll hear 6 pitches from 6 amazing startups that will be showcasing what they've done, not only here in Korea, but in general as businesses, as technology goes. So each pitch is about 5 minutes, and it'll be followed by 10 minutes of Q&A from the judges. We have NDR Medical Technology. So let's watch their video pitch.
Hi, I'm Alan Goh, CEO and co-founder of NDR Medical. Today, we're going to show you the future of digital surgery. Digital revolution has impacted even in the medical world. We started off from doing open surgery to keyhole to using robotic system. Right now in the digital world, we are talking about data integration and image segmentation to understand the surgical environment. At NDR Medical, we are able to use our robot vision technology to combine both the AI and the robotic system for automated detection of cancer tumors within the body and to find a right trajectory path to navigate to the space, and using the robotic system to guide any tools to help burn away the cancer tumor in the early stage. Our software basically covers the ND analyzer that does real-time 3D reconstruction, the tumor detection, and the pathfinder to find the safe access trajectory, as well as Aevice to guide the robot with the trajectory that we want. These are all breakthrough solutions. We have actually 2 robots. One is the NX platform, the fluoroscopic guided system, as well as the NC, the CT guided system, the targeted measurable impact to be 3 times more accurate than manual access, or a single one-time attempt success rate without injuring the patients while putting the elongated tool or the needle into the patient's body, all this reducing the complication rate and time for the entire procedures, saving the doctors time and costs. There are extensive application of our platform device, which can be targeted for lung, kidney, liver, brain, or even in the spine space for the purpose of ablation, which is burning away the tumor, taking out tissue sample like biopsy, drug delivery, stone removal, substance delivery, as well as neural lead placements. The application is really wide. In terms of the competitive landscape that we have mapped out, we are the only company that does real-time reconstruction of the CT images that doesn't require any pre-op or optical sensor images to help with the navigation. And we are the only one that provides the safe needle path proposal powered by our AI algorithm. The business model is simple. We have our capital equipment selling at the retail price of between 160 to 550, depending on which device you are utilizing, and a single-use consumable, which is recurring for every single procedures that we perform, as well as the annual software licensing for each organs that we target, because we have to utilize training models to train every single organs. And we'll distribute the product through CG Bio, our Korean distributor, Microport in China, Transmedic in Southeast Asia, as well as Vishal in India. But right now, if we work exclusively with one of the imaging companies, we are able to achieve a serviceable market about $7.4 billion. But conservatively, right now, in a couple of years' time, or in 5 years' time, in exact, we are targeting a $300 million revenue every year. We've gathered a team of amazing people, from robotic engineers to scientists to researchers to medical doctors and commercial experts. In combination, we have more than 100 years of experience bringing product from ideation to the market. We have distinguished key opinion leader that's working with us from Mamtu Gupta in the US and Prof. Yehan from the Netherlands, in Singapore, in Japan, and notably in Korea, we have Prof. Cho from SNUH that's going to start our clinical studies with us. And in terms of traction, we have recently signed out an MOU with Aju University Hospital to try our end system device, as well as a distribution agreement with CG Bio exclusively for Korean market. We have also started a clinical studies with Prof. Cho from SNUH. We have 4 offices around the world, including the incorporation in the Korean market. Right now, our flagship first product, the Delta robot, has already received CE certification, HSA, Malaysia FDA, and pending USA FDA approval. We have about 5 core patents as well as 2 trademark registered. In terms of business roadmap specifically for the Korean market, we are fundraising our Series B right now. We are funding about $20 million. We are getting our KMFDS approval, as well as to start commercial sales of our end device. To complete the clinical studies with SNUH, start a preclinical trial for the spine with some of the hospitals that we are in discussion with. We're starting a new standard for medical robotics. We're going to be the state of the art for needle navigation into the space with precision. We become the next standard of care, and we can set the pricing for the future of interventional system. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen, for your presentation. Let me pull you here on the stage. And now, judges, you have 10 minutes to ask Ellen all the questions that you want and need.
Hi, this is Jin. So you mentioned that your system is 3 times more accurate in detecting cancer. Is it done through the clinical trial? Can you tell us more about this clinical trial?
The clinical trial is actually done. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Thanks.
In actual fact, the clinical trial is done with various hospitals in Singapore, in China, and in Malaysia. So they gave us annotated images so that we can train them to identify lesions. So not only can it detect much better than junior clinicians doing the annotation, because it's a trained model, we actually helps them to assess it physically to reach the tissue sample. So right now, not just detection, but to access it as well in totality. Because right now they are doing it manually. Most of the time their accuracy level is plus minus 10 mm, and most of the time they didn't hit the tumor pinpoint. They will have to do multiple tries. So what we are envisioning here is that a single attempt success rate with precision, which is 3 times more accurate to the spot. So we measure the accuracy based on the trials that we have been conducting, how far away once is inserted from the target. So we'll measure a 3D spatial between the target and the needle tip. So that's how we do the measurement.
Thank you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I know, the doctors are usually very conservative on taking on new technology, and I believe you've met a lot of doctors. And what do they actually think about adopting this product and get trained on and so on?
To be honest, you'll be amazed by the kind of adoption that surgeons have. It really depends on what value proposition that you're providing. Initially, when we didn't incorporate or didn't show the value proposition from the AI portion, only the robotics, which can provide more precision access, they are quite receptive because they always felt that in a hand-eye coordination, manually they can access it much better. Even dangerous, they will just have to do a couple of times and they will be able to hit it. But once the AI comes in, which provides them the diagnosis and also provides them a guidance, even suggesting the right path for them. So right now, it's not based on their judgment, not based on their experience to plan the route, but it's the AI that provides them because they know that they are unable to see those small little vessels. So once they cannot see, they cannot avoid. But the computer vision, the AI actually helps to map out everything to provide the safe trajectory. So with that approach, it's very receptive. Even when we are in Korea, not just Aju University Hospital, Asan, Rido, they are all asking us to not just do it for the lung space, but for liver, even for kidney access, or even for the spine, which is one of the largest market potentially we see in Korea.
I see. So from just guessing based on your the price of the robot, your target market will be tertiary hospitals. So do you have any idea on how many hospitals you can target in Korea or any other part of the world?
That's a very good question. So like what you mentioned here is all about the market sizing. At the first point, the targeted market is definitely the tertiary or the university hospital to roll out the product itself to get endorsement. So in Korea, there's quite a fair bit of hospitals. Previously, my chief medical officer, when they mapped it out, marketing officer actually mapped out there's close to about 1,000 hospitals that potentially in Korea might be able to utilize it, but that has to be confirmed again. But in totality, we understand that the whole wide world, the CT equipment and the fluoroscopic equipment replacement rate is around 266,000 per annum. So just imagine if we replace one CT machine and we partner with one of our NC device and we sell together with the imaging companies, every year, potentially maximum, the total addressable market is 266,000 units potentially we can be selling to the hospital. So also to answer that as well, to add on, so the equipment pricing right now, we are actually priced at roughly 30 to 50% below what competitors are actually putting out into the market. We have visited Kuroxo, we have visited Koyang, and we know the rough price point that is available in the Korean market.
Any other questions, judges?
Hello, this is Songjin. Thank you for your patience. I got several questions. Regarding the performance of your solution, that you said it's 3 times more accurate than before, and I just want to know, is that compared to which benchmark? Is that compares to your competitor or the trained physician, or what is the benchmark you used?
So right now it's based on the trained and untrained physicians. Untrained as in the residents. If we do a comparison, because we have done a fair bit of joint studies in Japan, manually accessed by junior doctors versus accessed by senior consultants versus using robotics versus using our AI solutions. It has been done in that manner as a comparison test. not benchmarking against other competitors.
So it's
Because-
about the detecting the cancer cells. So I just wonder, is that because of the novelty of your AI algorithm, or it could be related to the CT scanner spatial resolution, right? So what was the condition? What is the spatial resolution of the CT scanner you use for that test?
Right now we are making it agnostic towards the CT, so we can work with multiple CT equipment makers. So in terms of comparison, right now we have to make a disclaimer. We are not comparing ourselves to Lunit or some other AI solutions out there. All the AI solutions is more of an accuracy level, and all of us are quite accurate based on the number of training data that we have. But right now, if you compare to clinicians doing their own access, especially not the pre-op images, but we are talking about intra-op. On the spot itself, if you ask them to identify nodules, the AI is definitely a lot more capable because we are actually an intra-op solution, not a pre-op off the line cloud-based solution, which most of the software companies are.
All right.
We are talking about intra-op. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So you conducted the clinical trials, you said, in China, and Singapore, and Malaysia, and
Japan.
The clinical trial, which stage it was like? It could be early stage, or maybe it must be before the phase 1, right? So it's animal studies, right?
No. So there are two products in our company. One is called the Fluoroscopic Guidance NX. The other is the NC, which is the CT guidance software and hardware robot as well. So when we talk about clinical studies, we are talking about human trials. So before we can go into human, there's actually the phantom trial, the preclinical, the animal studies, before we can go into first in human, then after that conducting our human trials. So based on the NX platform, we have already completed more than 85 patients and has done more than close to 15 animals. There's a lot of trial data for the NX platform. NC platform, we have just done multiple preclinical trials as well. Now it's pending to go into first in man.
Is there any specific reason you conducted the trials in China, Singapore, and Malaysia? Because in your pitch deck, it feels like you're targeted to the multiple countries, including Korea. And if you wanna the follow up the clinical processes to get the permission, better conduct the clinical trials here in Korea. So I'm just wondering about that.
Yeah, so I think it's based on opportunity and resource. We are a Singapore-based company, so it's easier for us to go to Malaysia to get data. In China, because we kind of bilingual, so it's easier to get data sets from China as well. In Korea, it's only because of Bridge to Korea program or based on some other support that we've gotten in the Korean market that we are able to sign up with CG Bio. So CG Bio actually gotten us the MOU with Arju University Hospital. So I'm proud to say that in January this year or by February, we should be starting our clinical studies with SNUH, where we will be conducting a lot more clinical studies with Korean clinicians. Ultimately, if you were to ask me, the best is to be able to conduct clinical studies in the US because that will be one of our main market. But it's more of a resource issue. We choose the country to conduct our clinical trials and studies.
All right. Thank you for your answers.
And with that, thank you very much, Alan, and thank you, judges, for the questions. Thank you, Alan, for the presentation and for answering the questions. Is Aevice Health, and let's hear the pitch from Janelle.
Hi everyone, I'm Janelle from Aevice Health, and we develop smart wearable stethoscopes to help patients breathe better. Today, more than 500 million people in the world suffer from chronic respiratory disease like asthma and COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. In Korea alone, COPD is the third leading cause of death. The difficulty in managing and diagnosing COPD makes it one of the most expensive diseases to treat for patients, hospitals, and insurance companies. And we want to solve this. So we created the Aevice MD, an extremely small but powerful smart stethoscope that continuously listens and detects abnormalities in the patient's lungs in real time. With Aevice MD, we empower patients to achieve greater control over their disease to prevent deterioration, while allowing clinicians to replicate face-to-face visits to improve the overall access to care. Now, this is how the Aevice MD is typically used. Imagine you're Mr. Park Sang-hoon, 60 years old, recently discharged from the hospital after a COPD attack. You're prescribed the Aevice MD for monitoring, which you will use to monitor and manage your conditions from home over the next 30 days. When a follow-up visit is due, your doctor can listen to your chest sounds remotely, just like a virtual stethoscope, for an objective assessment of your condition. And this assessment is supplemented with long-term data of your condition for the past few weeks, allowing your doctor to track your response to treatment and to tailor the treatment accordingly. As such, our device is a powerful home companion tool to help to improve patients' access to care while encouraging deeper engagement with their doctors. In our recent human factor study, over 88% of doctors say they would use Aevice MD to manage their patients, and over 72% of users say they find the device effective in improving their management. We cater to 4 segments of users. We want to empower patients to achieve greater control over their disease, to provide doctors with valuable data to streamline diagnosis and treatment plans, to complement pharma companies' portfolio of respiratory drugs, and to improve the patient's adherence to these medications, and to reduce the risk of insurance companies significantly by lowering the readmission rates of patients. Right now, we're looking into the home management of chronic asthma and COPD, with home monitoring of late-stage lung cancer and the progression of infectious diseases like COVID-19 in our pipeline. We have developed the Aevice MD as an affordable and scalable solution for all. We sell directly to hospitals in bulk, where in turn hospitals can rent the device to patients for a period of 30 to 90 days, depending on the severity of their condition. Not only does this allow hospitals to recover the cost of purchasing our product, it lowers the barrier of adoption for patients significantly at the same time. The smart wearable stethoscope market is a nascent but growing space. And what sets us apart is that we have the smallest form factor in market while measuring the highest number of vital signs and the ability to continuously monitor for more than 10 hours. And I'm happy to share that since the closing of our pre-A investment round last year, we have made significant progress in establishing global research, clinical and commercial partnerships in Singapore, Japan, and the US. We expect to receive our FDA clearance by quarter one this year, and we're in conversation with several hospitals in the US to pilot the Aevice MD. We're a Singapore-based startup that spun out of leading research institution Nanyang Technological University in 2018. We're currently pre-Series A. We raised about $3.2 million to date, with strategic investors such as Toho Holdings of Japan and the Singapore government. We are currently about 15 headcount strong and are led by a strong management team background in business, research, and clinical practice. We also have a backing of a global advisory board with experts guiding us in respiratory, clinical, and regulatory matters. And this is just the beginning. Join us in helping 500 million people worldwide breathe better. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Janelle, for the presentation. Let me pin you here. And now I'd like to open the stage for the judges for the Q&A. You have 10 minutes to ask Janelle anything and everything you want.
Thank you, Janelle. I'll lead off. Can I just ask a very basic question? What was the inspiration for doing a healthcare device like this, a stethoscope, when you know there's a lot of, it's a crowded space, right?
Right. Thank you so much.
Google and Fitbit and all these people are also quite involved with measuring, heartbeat and all this. So what was the inspiration?
Right. Sorry, I had some issues earlier. Thank you so much for your question, Charles. I do agree with you. Right now, there are a lot of players coming in. Google, now you could even measure your heart rate and your respiratory rate with just the Google Pixel phone. But what set us apart is the fact that we could do the monitoring of lung abnormalities, specifically symptoms such as wheezing and even cough. But right now, we're the most confident in wheezing, up to a percentage of about 91%. And the inspiration behind this particular product lies in our founder's story. So our founder and CEO, Adrian Ang, he grew up with childhood asthma and it was quite uncontrolled. So he was in and out of the emergency room and that caused his parents a lot of anxiety. So this inspired him to create and develop a product that's able to detect early signs of asthma attacks so that it could prompt his parents to give him his inhaler to prevent all this unnecessary anxiety as well as emergency visits. So we have a very robust algorithm that can detect wheezing, and this requires a lot of time and data sets to develop. And in that sense, we're different from many other companies out there.
Has there been IP filed?
Yes. Sorry?
Yeah. Where have the IPs been filed for this?
We have a patent that's filed in the US and in Singapore, and we have one PCT pending.
Okay. Not in Europe?
No, not in Europe yet.
Okay. Is your product positioned as a medical device sold through hospital? That's what you said. You sell through the hospitals.
Yes,
so it needs a doctor's prescription or doctor's recommendation to use this device. You cannot just go into a CVS, for example, and buy like a blood pressure monitor or a blood oximetry monitor. You need to buy this at the recommendation of a doctor.
Right. Thank you for that. Yes, currently our device is positioned, at least in the US, as a prescription device that will be prescribed by the doctors from hospitals or from primary care clinics. So until we have expanded our FDA to over-the-counter, right now we're a prescription-only device.
Okay.
Any other questions, judges?
Thank you for the presentations. I have questions about the clinical trials. What is the primary endpoint of the clinical trials?
Right. Thank you so much for your question, Minsok. So currently we have an ongoing clinical trial in Singapore with the National University Hospital over here. The trial is to validate our wheeze detection. So it will be done on pediatric patients, and it will show our efficacy and it will validate our wheeze detection algorithm against the patients over there in the hospital.
Any other questions or any other maybe comments, feedback you'd like to give to Janelle about her presentation and about her technology?
Yes, I have another one. You're collecting data, is that correct?
Yes, we are.
And what is the data? What would you use the data for? Would you be selling the data?
That's a good question. Currently, we do not have plans to sell the data yet, but that is something that is definitely up for discussion depending on the different regulatory constraints in different countries. But as for our data collection now, it's mainly used to boost the accuracy of our algorithms with regard to detecting different sort of lung abnormalities such as wheezing and cough.
More of a usage question. How sensitive is this to the positioning on the chest? If I'm doing this with at home and I position this incorrectly, will you be getting errant data or errant readings?
Right, that's a fantastic question, Charles. So it is a relatively sensitive device. I've tried it myself, and a couple of my colleagues have tried the device at home as well. But it is because of so the primary device is an acoustic sensor that detects, records, detects, and digitalizes lung sounds from the patient's chest. So this is how the device primarily works. And because of how sensitive the microphone is in detecting even the smallest and minute sounds from the chest, we recommend for the device to be used when a patient is at rest and overnight when they're sleeping, so that it is away from distraction and not really affected by ambient noises. But we have tested our device on about 50 patients, and thus far the device has been giving accurate data as validated by our KOLs on board, as well as other clinicians that we've spoken to. But when it comes to using the device, what we usually recommend the patients is not only do they use it they use it for overnight monitoring. When it comes to auscultation recordings, which is using it like a stethoscope to take readings, they do it as guided by their physician, usually through a teleconsultation platform, so that they know where's the best position to place it for the most accurate sounds and readings.
Other judges, do you have questions? We should have time for one more question at least.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
I just was wondering. Thank you, by the way, for the presentation. I was wondering how's the process of doing a business in Korea. Do you have any luck or any business developed?
Right. Thank you so much for your question, Sun. So we actually had it was like a roller coaster ride, to be very honest. So we had been speaking to many partners and interested companies across our past few months in Korea. They're from various sectors such as the pharma industry, the hospitals, and we have quite a couple of companies and hospitals that are interested in working with us. But what we found that has been limiting thus far would be the regulatory concerns, as well as legal concerns. Because as a digital health company, we primarily work through teleconsultation platforms, which unfortunately is illegal in Korea. So the barrier of moving into Korea and being able to be used by patients is relatively high for now. But we do have Korea in our pipeline. We are focusing on, in APAC right now, we're focusing on Japan first. And after we have established a presence in Japan, we hope to work with the partners that we've spoken to, the friends over here that we've met, and to continue and rekindle the business in Korea. And hopefully by then, the regulations have relaxed a bit more.
And perfectly on time. Thank you, Janelle, for your presentation. And thank you, judges, for such wonderful questions. Moving on. Next up is Scanderm, all the way from Russia, here to present for us. So let's watch their pitch now.
Hello, my name is Evgeny Sobolev, and I am the founder of biotech startup studio Scanderm. My story started with love in South Korea, and this is the year of establishment first cosmetic factory in Russian Empire. Actually, they created Chanel number 5. So 9 years ago, I used to work with top management of this factory. And while I moved to Finland for my master thesis, I met a Korean girl, and we used to travel around whole South Korea, and I decided to stay there. And I figured out that at that time, when I was much younger, without Korean education and with no startup ecosystem in South Korea, I can't be really successful. So unfortunately, we broke up. And since that time, I was really furious. I made a lot of medical technology transfer with top Russian universities. I helped to create laws for young technology entrepreneurs in Russia. And I won biggest accelerators since 2015. And I even presented my own biotech product to Vladimir Putin. So few months ago, we got the 3rd place in KSGC Grand Challenge. And I think this is officially come back for me here. And what we brought, it's a dermatology AI solution, because in South Korea, people take really serious their beauty, and it's pretty high technology penetration, because for this AI, you need to make a photo of your skin on mobile phone cameras, and even bad cameras is enough. However, in South Korea, people have good cameras. There are more than 1,500 skin diseases, and no doctor can remember all of them, especially if it's rare. So that's how our AI works. Let's imagine that horse is a skin disease. So to detect horse, you need more than 10,000 photos. What should you do if you have to detect a unicorn? That's what our AI solution can do, because we have our own markup software, and a lot of dermatologists use it. So we can detect skin problems, facial cosmetic issues, nails and hairs problems as well. And the reason why anyone will need it's because of paradox of choice. On the marketplaces, you have a lot of products, and it's get attracted. But also people are frustrated because they don't know what product fit them best. So our solution can help people to combine their skin problems and skin disease, if it's necessary, with the perfect match of their cosmetic products. So that competitors which use some AI algorithms, no one do for skin elements, face, nails, and hairs as we are. And for previous year, we got 11 pharmaceutical marketing awards in Russia and Europe. We have almost 2 million users in 120 countries for our solutions. And we launched the big project with the biggest marketplace of cosmetic in Russia. And that's why we expect our revenue to grow in this year. So our unfair advantage is the biggest dermatology R&D center in Europe, which is our partner. And we already did high-tech projects for Tesla, Stanford, Huawei, and Yandex, which is like Naver and KakaoTalk altogether. For South Korea, we target 4 markets, and we already made 2 companies, 2 joint venture companies for all this marketing purpose. And that's our R&D and tourism partners. And we already made joint venture to work with Korean Nail Association and biggest chain of pharmacies. So for last 2 months, we got several clients in different countries, and 1 more R&D partner, and we made a launch of our new solution. So in next month, we will come back in February to South Korea. We will meet Shinan portfolio companies because we have a really good match with them. And honestly speaking, we already met few of them even before on some exhibitions. So our strategy is to launch new high-tech skin projects in Korea and expand it to the rest of Asia because it's half of the global market. Thank you for your attention, and I would love to answer your questions.
Oh, thank you, Evgeny. Well, let's let's hear those questions. Judges, you have now 10 minutes to ask Evgeny and his team questions about Scanderm.
Hi, thank you for your great explanation about your company and technology. I would like to start with asking about the clinical trials and the parameters you might have taken. So have you done any clinical trials on your AI comparing to conventional method of specialist diagnosing versus your AI? And if you have done that, and what is the specificity or sensitivity on those trials?
Thank you for this really great and helpful question. Seems like we may have opportunity to be the first company who did the clinical trials and publish it officially. But we did it for our product for GlaxoSmithKline, and they didn't allow to publish it yet. So, however, we can say that specificity and it's like around 85% for now. And since that time, we know how to improve radically our AI solution and get less data to train better algorithms. So it was 1.5 years ago, and as far as we know, it's like only few companies did it worldwide. And in Korea, it's also have been done, but we didn't see any protocols how people do it. So we have to do it by our own ideas, and we did it with the main Russian medical university.
I see. So I think one of the most important thing for a company is to build entrance barrier. So can you explain a little bit on what is the entrance barrier you can build or you already have built on this field?
Let me think. Actually, there are a lot of entrance barrier even without us, because you will hardly got any data. For our first AI solution, we collected only 3,000 photos for 6 types of skin disease. And that's actually not a lot. And we even pay for secret community groups of dermatologists all over the globe to enter it and to collect data from there. So the first and the biggest challenge is how to get data. And in this year, I mean, in the previous year, sorry, we signed 2 agreements, R&D agreements, with the biggest R&D center in Europe about dermatology and with the first Russian medical university. And I also have to notice that in Russia, 10% of people are Asian. And so we have different variations of races in our portfolio right now, and we continue to collect this data. And the second, I think even bigger problem is how to prepare this data. So we decided to create our own markup software, and there are lack of software for AI creation generally worldwide. And we have our own specifically for skin problems and like skin elements, also like nails and hairs. And for our portfolio match with Shinan, we will meet soon AI for pet. And I hope that our markup software will help this company to improve their algorithms as well. So we just work in different layers because the problem is to prepare different skin elements as well and the skin algorithms. So we work on software and on neural networks altogether. I hope I didn't make confusion with my answer.
No, you didn't. So you've mentioned about the images. So you mentioned about 3,000 pictures that you have obtained. Are they totally exclusive or to your firm, or are they mainly open source that you can get through the web?
We got it firstly from Google, secondly from different dermatologists, and thirdly from secret paid groups like in the internet, specifically for dermatologists. After that, we like our test system were used more than more than 1 million 700 times, and we collect our own data now. So we prepare this data. So it's in process because it's really expensive to work on data. You need to make it specificity and clearance more than 90%. You need 3 dermatologists to work on one photo with our software, and because dermatology make mistake almost 37% of times, and you need to make 3 dermatologists to just one photo. So that's why we need these agreements with university, and we have our own specific data already. So like it's around 500,000 photos now.
Do any of the other judges have questions for Evgeny and Scanderm?
If no one else has a question, I'll ask one more.
Go ahead.
What is the training method you used for your machine learning? Are you using open source machine learning algorithm from, let's say, from Google?
We have, how is it in English? Ensemble, so several neural networks, and they work all together. And the team leader of our AI solutions, he is the head of AI laboratory of Huawei in Russia. So he did previously he did projects for Stanford about oil extraction. So now he works for Huawei and for us, and it seems like we will hunt him soon and his team. I hope so.
Exciting. Judges, any other questions? We have time for about 1 or 2 more.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a question. What makes your AI service different from the other competitor in the market?
Because we have a different approach, completely different approach. We checked since 2016. We constantly look on different research which people did globally, and that's actually the reason, one of the reasons why we came to South Korea, because it's the most competitive and the most ready market for this type of solutions. And we saw the approach of other companies and Google as well, and we have completely different approach, which is more specific. I tried to explain it in my presentation, comparing horses and unicorns. So we can predict skin diseases even if we haven't seen them, because that's how our algorithms work. If you want to know it's a bit better, we can make a meeting about that. So I'm sure that we have really unique style of algorithm, and it's require less data to get better accuracy.
We have one question from the audience. Won't there be any errors when you're scanning with the picture? Errors.
Of course they will. Yeah, it's mathematically have to be. So just the accuracy, according to one study which we found from VisualDx, it's our biggest competitor in USA, but they do symptoms only. They don't do skin AI recognition. And they made research, and research says that accuracy of dermatologists is around 64%. So our solution provide better accuracy, but only for several skin disease, not for everything yet. And so, of course, it would be mistakes, and that's okay, because when we did research, even doctors are totally okay with making mistakes. And most of dermatologists, they have experience in just general skin disease. And our purpose to help dermatologists and in other spheres like cosmetologists, etc., to get to know more rare and unique problems and to help people with that.
And perfectly on time. Thank you, Yevgeny. Thank you, Team Scanderm, for your presentation. That was great.
Thank you, Marta.
Great listening to you. Next on is Fairphonic from Singapore. Do we have Tang on stage? Yes, we do. I think let's listen to Tang's presentation.
Hi, my name is Tang, co-founder and CEO of Fairphonic, an AI-based music rights solution empowering transparency and income optimization for every music creator today. The convergence of digital music and the media industry has presented endless revenue opportunities for digital music. However, the rapid growth of content forms has outpaced the way that music copyright usage is being managed and detected. There is currently no effective solution today, with even the biggest music companies relying on pure label or third parties to manually track and claim for their music usage on the web. Even so, what we are looking at is a growing pool of $4.2 billion of music royalties waiting to be claimed, with music creators losing out on income that they rightfully deserve every single day. With the mission of realizing fair play, fair pay for the music industry, here at Fairphonic, we have developed the world's first AI-based audio fingerprinting technology capable of scanning music copyright usage across all existing and future forms of digital content. Widely recognized as an industry breakthrough in comparison to current market solutions limited to only original song, our technology is currently scanning more than 1 million hours of digital content per month, with an accuracy of more than 94%. And over a span of 3 months, we have scanned more than 5 billion views of unclaimed content on the web. Coupling with our legal infrastructure, we have a unique end-to-end solution from scanning to collecting unclaimed royalties for our customers, on which we provide an incentive-based revenue sharing partnership. Our solution has received exceptional feedback from the industry, with a revenue-positive brand servicing over 30 businesses in Australia and USA, features in major music publications, immediate market expansion into Korea and Taiwan, all within a span of 12 months. In addition, over the past 6 months here in Korea, we have established a strong business infrastructure to realize our mission of becoming the catalyst of growth for a fast-moving career ecosystem. Our continuous efforts in product customization have generated great responses from the Korean market, with a high volume of businesses with compelling interest within the pipeline. Moving forward, we strive to develop hyper-localized collaborations and innovations to deliver value impact in line with the local market needs. And this includes building the copyright infrastructure for new media platforms such as games, AR/VR, and metaverse. In the upcoming year, our focus is on expansion and optimization. Major collaborations in Korea will be announced in the coming month, and our expansion efforts in the major music markets will continue. In addition, we are also optimizing our product services by expanding our technology coverage onto other new media platforms and releasing our new data analytics SaaS platform in Q2 of the coming year. Together with our team of renowned industry executives and young innovators with proven track records in the industry, we believe that Fairphonic is leading the revolution that we all know we need. And we will stay laser focused on combining technology and human ingenuity to become the catalyst of growth, transparency, and sustainability for the music industry. We look forward to speaking with you, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Tang, for your presentation.
Thank you.
And yes, judges, you have 10 minutes now to, hold on a second, to ask 10 questions. So feel free to do so.
Good to see you, Tang.
Hi, Michael. Pleasure meeting you here too.
I think all of us understand that you are doing the B2B business currently, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
But I believe that you could plan to the B2C business in the future. Do you have any read or good ideas in the B2C business?
Yeah, in fact, I believe that B2C aspect is definitely a vital part of the music industry, given how the market distribution of content is moving to become more decentralized. So we have definitely done up a testing here in Korea. right? We have actually rolled out a particular derivation of our product with some level of cool factors, which is music collaboration. I think there have been some exciting traction on that front, where we are actually collaborating with more than 150 music producers and artists. And even from that collaboration platform, there is also dancers, creating the possibility for dancers to create their own music. So more our immediate focus here is definitely on B2B end. There's always a plan in place and ongoing developments to tap onto the B2C market aspect. And I think that is where we want to actually build the right credibility and trust from a B2B level first, which can actually translate to a fast-moving and fast market penetration for the B2C aspect. Yeah.
Particularly, I think you could expect that the big potential in Korean market. What kind of idea or what kind of expect the future of Korean market? What do you expect?
Yes,
particularly Korean market.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think what my guest has mentioned definitely is tapping onto the strength and the advantages of being in Korea. I think what we can all recognize here is not only that K-pop music is of high traction, that this is a market that is not just governed by incumbents, but there's also a growing pool of independent artists. But at the same time, also recognizing that this is a market that is not only leading the innovation in music, but also across all media fields such as games, AR, VR, live stream, and moving forward, metaverse. And we believe that this is where the copyright infrastructure, the demand for such a solution will only grow massively, right? So at the core of music copyright, that is I would say the key element of trades between content supply and content demand, be it audio in music streaming platforms, videos on YouTube, or even audio minted NFTs in metaverse. And what we are looking at here is a vision that everyone will be becoming a creator, right? So the content for demand will definitely grow. But what about the copyright infrastructure? And that is where we position ourselves to be, and we will ambition ourselves to drive this value proposition of providing transparency, and at the same time creating new revenue opportunities to make royalties income a sustainable and career progressing monetization mechanism for every creators in the market.
Okay, in the near future, can you share some pipeline in the Korean deals with some companies? A little bit, A company, B company.
Indeed. I think, as we mentioned in the video, currently we have 16 companies in the pipeline that we actually not only confirmed interest, but we have done the trials and we're actually negotiating the contracts. There are some major notable companies here that everyone will be familiar with. One of the, I would say two of the big three is actually currently talking to us. And we have 2 signed customers with music rights funds, which we are currently managing in the chart toppers in Korea, such as Rollin' by Brave Ghost and some of the tracks by top writers too for the K-pop groups. Yeah, so definitely a very eventful time for us to be driving this solution. But I think what is even more encouraging is how different customers, from not knowing anything about copyrights to realizing what is the gap in the market, and even realizing the potential. And what we feel that is really motivating us to push forward more is that we are not only able to be a scalable business here, but we also are able to help business here grow as well. And I think that is always the mission that we will stay true to ourselves on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. And any other questions for Tang and Fairphonic?
Thank you for your pitch. I got several questions.
Sure.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So your solution is about your solution is mainly B2B solution at this moment, and it helped the copyright owners, the music copyright owners, to ease their copyright enforcement, right? So how does it basically work? You explained the very basic concept of it, but I just want to know what will be the real process.
Roger that. Yeah, so I would just touch base a little bit more in terms of what the kind of service and value proposition, and from there I'll dive into the product, the service, and the technology flow of it to answer your question. So value proposition wise is definitely looking at the key challenge here for rights holders to not only manage their metadata on the different platforms, which is very tedious and niche, right? But every single error in those metadata, or even based on the current platform scanning mechanism, there's a lot of unpaid royalties in the market, whereby it's not, I would say it's very common from our testing that we have done with different customers. Out of a 10 tracks catalog, it has up to more than 500 million views that is unclaimed. Yeah, so it is a very big problem that even businesses are slowly getting to realize. So our challenge here is not only being able to drive the right scanning system, but also to make it a very seamless and easy service for our customers, for them to not do anything much, and being able to collect those royalties as a key KPI for our service here. So what we actually work on with our customers, just from 3 very simple information, just from the audio file, from the track title, and from the artist name, we will start scanning on the web. And particularly right now, we are looking at YouTube as the main platform, because that is where most of the unpaid royalties are coming from, right? And from there, we're able to scan, and we actually have the legal filings to actually file for those unclaimed content that we have scanned for. So from there, we can collect the royalties and pay to our customers, right? So the fundamental, I would say the differentiation in our technology here is taking reference from, let's say, the track Gangnam Style, right? The current market solution is, be it Shazam, Somehow, or YouTube Content ID, or any other platforms or service providers too, they are only able to detect the exact form of Gangnam Style by Psy, right? But should there be any changes in the speed, changes in the pitch, that's where the system loses its effectiveness. So our core fundamental principles of our AI solution and our AI model here is we are building that superhuman ears listening. So how do I know that this is Psy Gangnam Style, right? I listen to Psy's unique voice profile and tonality. How do I know this is Psy's, how do I know this is Gangnam Style? I listen to the lyrics and the melody form. So across the board, we are able to differentiate the kind of original track, or a cover or remixes or live performances, and being able to scan across the variation. And that's where we are able to cover all those unclaimed content gaps in the market right now. Yeah.
It sounds like, your algorithm may require some massive computing power behind. So how did you solve those problems, or what is your plan for that?
Yeah, fortunately and unfortunately, it is a lot of data there. And what is good for our industry here is that there is actually a research-based data that we have been tapping onto. Right now, I think for the accuracy of our solutions, it actually drawn through of different R&D data sets that is set by the industry. At the same time, what we are on, I would say on a daily basis, where we are able to provide the value proposition is exactly on comparison with current market solution there. So across the board, we are always building trainings, for the AI at the back, but at the same time, also through commercial operations, we are able to improve the AI across the board, and that is a fully automated system. And to this point, I think there is definitely a lot of work that has been done at the back. Me and my founder definitely has gone through the startup journey of being in a garage for 1 year, and we have actually rolled out the product, I would say, after 1.5 years of work there, last year in May. And it's definitely very heartwarming. We are very surprised by how the market has been responding to our system. But of course, the tech aspect is only one level. It's also equally important to build the business infrastructure, partnership with different legal entities. So definitely a journey. I'm having flashbacks answering you right now, but glad we have reached a point where we are ready to service the market, and we have been making different milestones in different markets, particularly in Korea and Australia. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have just a few moments for one last question, and I'll take an opportunity to actually, there is a question from the audience.
Yeah.
Let me show it on stage. Will Fairphonic have a competitive relationship between MusicCow and Korea?
The easy answer to this is actually MusicCow can be our customer. And I think there are actually some pipelines that is actually making those introductions. So the framework here is MusicCow is a music rights platform. What they are doing here is that they're trading music rights, right? Creating that NASDAQ for music rights, right? For such a solution, they definitely want ROI. ROI is a very important thing. And ROI from music is just based on the number of streams, right? And what we do here is that we provide the right mechanism for all these music rights to have actually more income, and therefore it definitely is a very direct benefit for them to have more data, have more royalties, and that drive the ROI for not only for them but for their users too. So that is pretty much how we can view Musical and how Musical can view us too. Yeah.
Has your technology ever been used for legal enforcement for payment?
Yes, in fact, this is, I would say, not the main business, but there were some very interesting cases that come from our solution. In fact, one of the, I would say, the writer from Australia has a song that we scanned through, and what we found from those didgeridoo kind of background music was actually used as a sample, a very obscure sample in one of the major US artists' rapper track, and there was actually like a litigation on that front, which they actually settled the case at about 800K USD, right? So there are some solutions like that, but I think that's not the main, I would say, the main principles for us as a business. We are not here to police the market, but what we are doing here is tapping onto an already established infrastructure for claims, and we want to be able to become that bridge between the content platforms and the content supply. And that is always the dynamic that we drive. Yeah.
And for the rest of the answers from Fairphonic, please stay tuned for the networking session. Thank you, Tag, for the presentation and for the Q&A.
Thank you very much, Martha. Thank you.
Next on, we'll have Michael from VERLINER. We'll have VERLINER pitch first and foremost. So please stay tuned for their presentation now.
Hi, my name is Michael Strelikas. I'm CEO of VERLINER, a future robotics company established to autonomously create the digital twin of indoor environments through a robotic platform that connects the stakeholders of the construction industry with building assets, spanning in all phases of a building's life cycle, starting from the construction phase, moving to the operational phase, and up to the end of life phase of a building. We construct the building in different phases, but only when the concrete structure has been completed, the contractors of mechanical and electrical systems are visiting the project site to take measurements and conduct assessments. These systems are including but not limited to heat, ventilation, air conditioning, and elevator systems. The quotation process can be based only on the physical assets and cannot be precisely completed during the design phase. We start from the pre-installation, working on the use case of elevators, these core systems that enable the occupancy of a building in all of its floors. An elevator installer needs to physically visit the project site several times to conduct an initial inspection. The elevator installer needs first to geographically locate the project site, then to physically record preliminary measurements, to visit the project site again to deliver the quotation by hand, and in a final stage, to visit the site once more to acquire the detailed measurements from all the floors with a team of 2 engineers. Within 7 years of experience in the construction industry, I have worked with engineers in more than 25 countries and witnessed firsthand the struggles of gathering precise data in building assets. These data should be acquired by humans from hard-to-reach spaces and have to be communicated to the contractors and manufacturers on different mediums, such as papers, emails, text messages, causing an inconsistent and costly procedure. VERLINER is solving this problem with a solution that consists of a custom-made autonomous indoor drone operating in the building, creating the digital twin, guaranteeing high precision and safety in the hazardous environment of a site, and a data cloud platform that presents project information in a unified, consistent, and ready-to-use format for contractors and manufacturers of elevators, enabling remote access to project sites. The solution provides time savings to service providers compared to the conventional way of data acquisition, cost reductions to the operational level of conducting the measurements, and absolute safety, since the digitalization provides remote access to the project from the convenience of an office. Last but not least, the fact that there is no any necessity for engineers to visit the project site multiple times decreases the CO2 footprint as part of an optimized way to streamline the elevator supply chain process. Apart from the economic savings offered to our clients, VERLINER provides benefits in the frame of corporate social responsibility activities. The physical presence in confined spaces, such as elevator shafts, will no longer be required for assessment and measurement purposes, increasing the safety factor in building assets and resulting in a decrease of accidents. The business model is based on the robotics and the marketplace as a service model. The main revenue stream is based on the data sets we are providing to elevator installers and manufacturers throughout our platform over a project fee. To provide the fast, scalable revenue stream, we will lease the autonomous indoor drone to affiliate partners for data acquisition purposes. In a later phase, when the matchmaking has been added, we will take a commission on every match. The niche market of elevator system, it's a big one to have. The new elevator installation market estimated to reach $750 million USD. Our technology can later expand to cover the visual inspection services in installed elevator systems, as well as other mechanical and electrical systems of the building. So far, we have attracted great interest from key players in the elevator industry. We have our first paid pilot project, while we have received multiple grants from the European Union for the improvement of our robotic technology, indicating the excellence and impact of our solution. There are many devices for scanning the indoor spaces of buildings, but these still have to be operated by humans, requiring a vast amount of post-processing of data. VERLINER offers autonomous robotic drones operating indoors with vertical avoidance capabilities through an end-to-end service of data delivery. The team that is capable of achieving this goal consists of 3 business professionals and 3 robotic engineers with practical experience in the construction sector and the deployment of robotic solutions. The project is continuously supported by 4 accredited advisors for financial, commercial, product development, and technical matters. To continue our successful path, we seek for $800,000 to accelerate operations, to integrate PIM tools, and to commercially launch it in Korea within 2022. Thank you for the attention, and I'm inviting you to join the promising journey of digitalizing the construction industry with the power of robotics.
Thank you, Michael, for your presentation. And now, dear judges, you have 10 minutes to ask Michael all the questions that you want. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Michael, hi. Go to your business model you just mentioned was robotics plus using a mass. And are you talking about creating a mass, or you're going to be participating in a mass? Marketplace as a service.
Okay. Our solution is based on, first of all, 2 main elements, as you have mentioned. First is the robotic indoor drone that operates inside the building assets. And this is a custom-made solution that we manufacture by ourselves that is being used for data acquisition purposes, currently from our personnel, and later on for scalability purposes under a licensing scheme. And the second part is the marketplace as a service, which is collecting this information after these have been processed on a cloud environment and are being provided as a data on a ready-to-use format, meaning that these data are finalized and ready to be used according to the requirements of every contractor. So if we are talking about an elevator service provider, these contractors, they are needing this information on a very, very specific format in terms of diagrams and in terms of building attributes. So we deliver the final information that they need in order, first of all, to prepare a quotation for this tender, and later on, when they will get the award, when they award the project, this exactly same information is going to be used from the manufacturer to complete the main structure of the elevator system. So this is the first and the final part of data set that is being provided to these stakeholders. So the marketplace is the platform that provides this information, and later on is going to be enhanced with other kind of information, including visual information and video from the building site.
Okay. I see. I understand.
Any other questions for Michael?
So I have a question. So thanks for the presentation, Michael. This is Sun. I have several questions. One is about the revenue. So you mentioned that you have a revenue per quarter, but I was curious if that's a revenue per quarter or is a accumulative revenue.
The revenues that I have present is coming from the European funding that is project-based and is focusing on the advancement of our technology. Regarding the paid pilots that we are conducting, these are based according to the number of the projects that we acquire. So I will give you an indication regarding this part. For every project, let's say for every elevator shaft, there is approximately a number of 15 to 20 elevator contractors that they are bidding for this project. So if, for example, we charge $100 for getting access on this data in one contractor, then this number is multiplied by the number of contractors that they will request this data set. So if we have 15 contractors for the same project, we're going to have 100 multiplied by 15 or by 20 contractors if they are going to ask for these data sets. And the same applies to all the rest of the projects. And it's an indication. I'd like to inform you that in Korea, on an annual basis, we have 46,000 new elevator systems annually. So currently we are working with adoption customers. We're working with 3 customers, and we have these recurring revenues on a basis of multiplying this project by 3 on every new building.
Okay. So per project or per building, what would be the total revenue that you can get per in average?
In average, if, for example, we have let's say 15 contractors, we will get $1,500 from one elevator shaft. Usually, the buildings, they don't have only one elevator shaft; they usually have 2, especially on highly dense areas. But yes, if we say that from one elevator shaft we can have we can receive the interest of 15 contractors, on an average we will get a revenue of $1,500.
$1,500. Okay, so that means the projects will run for how long? Once you start the project.
When we start the project, you mean the project?
How long does the project?
Or? Yeah. Yeah, the life cycle of this project, it lasts, the building phase, it lasts for approximately 12 to 14 months. Our time frame that we are entering in the project to collect this information is approximately on the 4th to the 5th month after they have started raising the building. And this is one month before the elevator contractors, they will be required to enter the project site. So we do it on their behalf. They don't have to physically visit the project site, and they acquire all this information from our platform.
Okay, thank you. Last question. So since it is very important for you to get the clients, what is your B2B sales strategy?
First of all, since I'm coming from the industry, I have worked 7 years in the elevator industry in Europe, Africa, and Asian countries. I spent 5 years in Shanghai, China, being responsible for the business development of Asia and Pacific markets. So I have an existing network of clients in all the countries of APAC region. But apart from that, first of all, the main channel is based on physical communication on a B2B scale, including also LinkedIn and Facebook campaigns. But the most attractive part is, especially for Korea, through agents that are acting as safety consultants for the construction industry. And at the moment, we are in discussion with none of them. I would say the biggest one in Korea, that it will allow us to establish our presence in the market with reference projects in the smart cities that are under development.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
Oh, well, we have time for one more question. So if any of the other judges have questions for Michael and VERLINER, this is your moment to do so, to ask them away. Or if any of the participants have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box on the right. Oh, actually, we do have a question here for VERLINER. Let me show it on the stage. There are several Korean companies with great construction technology. Are there any partnerships ready in Korea? Well, do you have any partnerships in the pipeline for Korea? That's the question.
Thank you for the question. Yes, we are in discussions with one construction company, which is one of the top 10 construction companies in the country. And as I have mentioned previously, we are in discussions with the main safety consultant, which is active in the country. On that part, I would like to inform you that there are main technologies that they're acquiring information from the indoor environment. However, these have to be operated by humans on a manual basis. And what we're actually doing is mitigating the safety of involving humans in these operations. So we are trying to fully automate these processes with the autonomous devices without having people to enter this hazardous environment on conducting these highly risk operations. And definitely, this is something that we start from the new installations of elevator systems. And in the next step for us is to conduct inspections on installed elevator systems, something that it will rocket our potentials for having revenues on a recurring basis.
Michael, I have a question. This is Charles. Which competitor do you see most when you bid for a project? Is Skydio a big competitor for you? Who is your biggest competitor?
Skydio is actually a company that is conducting visual inspection, and it requires a lot of post-processing in terms of data acquisition. Our solution is focusing on specific industries, on the mechanical and electrical installations. So we are not doing everything on a generic UAV platform. It's an industry-graded application with our drone that is addressing the needs of industries that they have not the luxury to acquire information from any other source.
I see.
So that's why we are trying to get the advantage of the first mover.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, VERLINER, for the presentation and for answering all the questions.
Thank you.
Next on, we have Maria and SQIN. So let's listen to their pitch.
Hi, everybody. I'm Maria, co-founder of SQIN, and super happy to introduce you today to SQIN, your personal e-health coach. Did you know that more than 2 billion people worldwide suffer from dermatologist issues? But because there's a high shortage of specialists, they cannot be treated in time. So we see that around 70% of skin diseases could not be detected or are detected too late because of that. And even if we check about Google data, we see that there is even a higher number in the dark. This is also something that a lot of people experience in their daily life. For example, my co-founder Martin had strong acne very long in his youth. So for him, it was quite hard from a mental perspective. And also his parents spent a lot of time and money to get some help. For me, it was different because my mom's cosmetician. So I could always give her a call and she was able to help me. Of course, it's not just the two of us. So behind SQIN, we have a strong team currently, around 11 team members who are working on the same vision to find and create a place where all the people that suffer from these skin health things could get help. So we created a coaching app called SQIN, where you find your personal skin companion. Of course, we're not just talking about products, because for your skin health, much more topics are important. You have nutrition, you have food, you have lifestyle and behavior, and all of that is bring together in one personal program for yourself. If you check around skin, you see there are two markets. We have the digital health market, the dermatology, but also the cosmetic market, the global market, like the global beauty market. Both are rising stars, what is quite nice. But why isn't there an approach combining both things? Because you just have one skin, right? So this is what we created. We created a platform that deals with all the different stakeholders. Dermatologists are directly on the app. We have brands and products to treat yourself right. And we have also the pharmacies that are doing the prescription process with us. So our users can directly get the products they need, even if it's a cosmetic or a dermatologist topic. So this is how it looks like. For the user, we have three important topics. We have education to make it like a self-growing thing. We have the skin health coaching I already mentioned to you, and we have the community aspect, because engagement is what makes us strong and different to most of the competitors. And this is how it then finally works. So our users are all going through a face scan, and within the AI that is included in that face scan, we can differentiate them into medical and cosmetic cases. And then we just gave them the treatment they need. Of course, there is some competition worldwide. You also have competition from Korea here. But as you can see, none of them is currently acting as a community with high user engagement. And this is really what makes us different. So we have session times over 6 minutes per session, what means that users spend a lot of time in our application. So they are not just coming to us when they have a specific thing, they are really spending time with us. I already mentioned there's a high shortage of experts. So you can see some numbers here. Even in Korea, a lot of people say they are using experts. But as you can see, how can one dermatologist treat around 40,000 people? So therefore, these are the markets we are already addressing. We have a global solution for a global problem. And during the last year, we have been able to learn so much about the Korean market. We started the journey within the German accelerator. But this program, to be honest with you, was more to getting to know more general topics like people and the country. With your program, the last weeks, we had the chance to really deep dive into the market, to get to know our customers, and also to learn how we can engage them. So what we have done was, for example, a case study, a really statistic research study, and learn what the people are thinking about and what is important to them. But we did much more. We translated our website. We have a whole application now in the Korean language. We defined how we want to enter the market. We found the first influencers and also the first B2B partners, cosmetic brands. And also we talked to some dermatologists to then really start a sustainable business. So our next step during the next weeks and months will be to finalize the Korean product and then, of course, really roll that out. So currently, we are still in our pre-seed funding and we want to grow the company. So if you're interested to get on board as an investor, we will just trying to close our seed round. So don't hesitate and contact me. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Maria, for the presentation. Let me put you here on the stage with me. Judges, it's your 10 minutes to ask Maria questions.
Yes. Thanks, Maria, for the presentation. I was curious if the legal is it legal to do the doctor consultation in Korea? I think that's one of the function that you have.
Yes, it is possible. Of course, you have to take care of different, especially data privacy stuffs. And also, we are more like the platform in the middle. So we are not the ones who provides the consulting. These are the doctors. So from that perspective, it is possible as soon as we are, or as long as we are like the service provider.
But you are just connecting. You are just connecting the doctors with the patients.
Yes. But
yeah,
maybe to give you an insight to that, what we developed here is a ultra fast possibility for the doctors. So our doctors are able to deal with a lot of patients an hour because they have a really convenient ecosystem and really everything is digitalized. So therefore, for them, it's really also a benefit to have a lot of patients done in a very quick time.
Got it. Thank you. Another question on the traction. So have you, it seems like you have already launched the product or service.
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell us more about the number of users that you have and the growth of the users?
Yes, sure. So we have around 200,000 people now in the application, of course, mainly coming from our home market, so the German-speaking market, but also we have some from US, India, and Korea now, just when we launched the program. This is then the next step to go. And what we see is a great organic growth rate, around 20%, for example. And in addition, we have good KPIs from engaging perspective. What is the main important thing for us? Because we are like a platform, so we want the users to do a lot of different things in the application and to grow with us. So for example, from KPI perspective, the retention is pretty well. Day 1, 50%, day 28, around 20%, and engagement also. So we have average session times around 6 minutes, what is quite huge in the market. And this is also our biggest benefits when it comes to other market players.
Got it. So can you also share the MAU?
The what?
Monthly
Sorry?
active user? Monthly active
Sure.
user?
We have around 5,000.
5,000?
Yeah.
Okay. And the way you are getting the users is from referrals, because you said 20% is the organic.
Yeah, we have 3 different ways how they enter the app. The one is, of course, obviously performance marketing as used, I guess, as normal in the market. But then we also have the loops with our partners. So we have around 50 brand partners now, and all of them putting us also in their CRM systems. So from them, it's coming a lot. And then we also have the organic thing coming from cosmeticans, from people who can invite other friends and share and do the challenges with other people. So I think these are the 3 main streams we use currently.
Got it. And the last one is, are you generating any revenue yet, or is it pre-revenue?
We are generating some. We just started to make the monetization with our B2B partners and also on the B2C side in the mid of December. So therefore, it's not that much, but we just started to monetize, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Let me have another questions in terms of technology. Hello?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. I think AI should play an important role in your solution. What difference is AI making for your services compared to your competitors?
Yeah, so we really have an ultra fast AI, means within 3 seconds, our AI provides the information to the user if he has some of the main diseases like acne or rosacea, and which type of skin he has. So we can, like every user who's entering the app gets within 5 seconds, then with the onboarding, the first indication what is going on. And from there, we put our recommendations. So we have an ultra fast process and a great user experience, what is obviously nice for the customers. And that's why we can also provide the right customers to the right brand partners. So overall, all of them meet in a personalized way. And I think this is exactly what makes us different from competitors. Most of them having tech, mainly focusing on B2B and doctors, like making them a better process or a more efficient process maybe. But for us, it's really the combination of making the right treatments for specific users.
Thank you.
Judges, do you have any other questions? Other judges? For Maria. We do have a question here from the audience for you. So Korea has a large and well-developed beauty market. Will there be any specific marketing strategy for skin for the Korean market?
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's exactly what was hard for us to figure out from the beginning. Like, it is a market that is well educated as well. You have a lot of specialists over there, you have a lot of great products over there. So we really try to define the area where SQIN could find his place. And during the process, we recognize that, especially for Korean brands, it's even more interesting to enter the European market as well. So I think what is the specific strategy, if you ask for that, is really to offering both benefits. On the one hand side, giving them access to our communities and other markets, and on the other hand side, giving our overseas customers also the possibility to easily connect with new Korean products. So I think we want to use this benefit a lot in the future.
Thank you, Maria. We have time for one more question. So, judges or participants. Oh, we have another one from the participants. Let me put it on stage. What would be SQIN's criteria on approaching a partnership with Korean beauty company?
I think in general, we are an independent platform. So I have not specific partnerships or beauty companies I prefer or not prefer. What is important for us is that the products are legalized also for other markets, because the community is a global community. So it's important that products can also be shipped or sold in other markets. And of course, we have some quality aspects also for the communication and branding perspective, but this is more from legal perspective. And I think this is the main thing where we are putting an eye on.
Well, thank you for your answers. We have any last minute questions, judges, or comments for Maria? It's your last moment to shine. For that
question
matter.
Last question.
Okay.
So since Maria, you said you are raising a round, and when are you closing, and how much are you raising, and when are you how much have you raised so far?
Yeah, so we raised already 600,000 from business angels from different countries, mainly US and Germany. And we want to extend this pre-seed round maybe for another 100 or 150K. But the bigger plan for early Q2 of this year is to finish a seed funding, including 2.3 million euros. That's the plan.
And hopefully it works out. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, judges, for the questions. Thank you, Maria, for your presentation and answers. So first of all, teams, give yourselves a round of applause for finishing the pitches. This is and coming to this point in life. Before I wrap up the whole event, I would like to ask the judges one by one to here on the stage to give a few words of feedback, reflection about what they heard, maybe some recommendations, whatever comes to mind after the 6 presentations that you've heard. And first and foremost, I would like to ask Myung-jin from Shinhan Capital to start off the reflection session.
Yeah, I would like to thank you all for excellent pitch. I was really pleasantly surprised by how innovative those technologies each team was working on. And I would like to meet you on your journey to IPO or M&A in the future throughout your journey.
Ooh, promising. Next on, I would like to ask, once I find him here, Min-seok from Celltrion.
Thank you all for this opportunity to participate and get to know your companies. I think that Korea is a great place for your companies to expand and find business opportunities in Korea. During and after COVID-19 pandemic era, I think that digital healthcare industry will grow more and more, and people will easily adapt the healthcare technology. From healthcare professions point of view, clinical evidence is very important. And most of the time, patients rely on clinicians' recommendations. So far, healthcare startup to succeed, clinical benefits should be clarified and medical expenditure should be reduced in comparison to the current medical practices. It was great to know all of you and wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next on, Michael from Big Bang Angels.
Thank you for having me. As you may know, Big Bang Angels has already started investing in global startups entering the Korean market. We plan to continue expanding this approach in the future. We hope that this program will serve as an opportunity for more companies to enter Korea. I hope SquareBridge expand this program further. All of you did a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next on, Charles from Gentium Partners.
Yes, thank you very much. I really enjoyed the presentations. It clarified many things. I think Bridge to Korea is not only an avenue for funding, but it's also a way to network, and that's useful for building up business contacts. Feel free to use the resource here. That's all I can recommend. Good luck.
Thank you. And Sun from Mind the Bridge.
Yes. Thank you for all the presentation and your effort preparing it, and also congratulations. You have put enough your efforts and power and energy into and your soul into the startup, and I think that's the destiny of the founders. I really think this is a great thing that what you're doing, try to innovate the world and make another new generations. Feel free to reach me out through LinkedIn or anything through SquareBridge, and looking forward to see you guys in Korea someday.
Hopefully soon. And last but not least, Jongjin from Bokwang Investment.
Okay, thank you for having me here today. All 6 companies are amazing, and there's always people saying these days that there's inflation in VC funding in terms of ticket size, right? But I also realized that there's also inflation in terms of the capabilities of each of the startups. Because like 3 years ago, when I met the startup companies in seed rounds or pre-Series A, they're really the baby companies. There's almost nothing inside. But now it's kind of MVP is kind of mandatory thing. So when I see the pitch deck today, there's I cannot believe they're the seed round companies or pre-A companies. So congratulations, it's almost done for your journey for this session with Shinan. And I think you all can do very well, even after this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So yes, we've come finally to the end of part 2. Thank you again, startups, for great pitches, and congratulations of really becoming part of the Shinan SquareBridge family. You'll be getting continuous support for your expansion here in Korean market from us. So wait on for the details. Obviously, thank you, our wonderful judges, for listening to the presentations, for the evaluations, for asking some really insightful questions that made us think about a lot about what is needed to expand to the Korean market. Thank you, participants, for bearing with us for so long. We're almost on over 2.5 hours here, so I hope you bared with us for all this time. Shinan SquareBridge Incheon is happy to confirm that it will keep on growing its global entrepreneurship platform and its programs related to that. This is the end of the first Bridge to Korea Demo Day, and we hope that you'll continue to support us and be interested in all the programs that we'll be offering in the future. So thank you very much.